What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm doing this commentary without watching the gameplay, so this might be either really long or really short. But anyway, let's begin. I think it's kind of obvious, but I'm going to talk about what should be obvious because it's in the title. But Xbox One. I know you guys have probably seen quite a few videos about this, and I'm probably just adding on to it. But I just want to give you my opinion on not just the Xbox One, but if like getting it in comparison to, well, I can't really compare it to the PS4 because I know nothing about it, so I'll compare it to PC. Like, as it stands now, I'm saying that I won't get the Xbox One, and it's not, I'll explain why. Basically, for the price that the Xbox will be, it's announced it'll probably be about $400, which is about, let's say, £320, right? And for that price, at the time, it's good, but think of it this way: you're going to have to pay for games, which will be more expensive than PC, and on top of that you'll have Xbox Live, which will just add on either way. So that's, I think it's £30 now, for, well, let's say £40 a year, plus getting about, let's say you only get the big games every year, so that's about four or five big games every year. So then that's £200 on top of that, plus the £40 Xbox Live. So once you buy Xbox, you're additionally paying about £240 a year, right? And then you've got all other options such as buying another controller, buying a new mic if it breaks, buying DLC, arcade games, changing the gamer tag, all of that stuff that just comes with getting an Xbox, right? And then you've got a PC. So the PC, you would say, let's say we get a PC the same price as an Xbox, so you get a PC that is about £300 that you can build yourself and has pretty good graphics. Graphics will probably be better than the Xbox. Hard drive will probably be better than the Xbox. What else? And then it'll be a computer, obviously, so you can do everything you could do on your Xbox, but more. And additionally, as I said before, it'd be an extra, considering everything else I said, it'd be an extra at least £300–400 a year on an Xbox to maintain, keeping it entertaining. Whereas a PC, the only thing that you'd probably have to pay for is an upgraded graphics card. And even that, you could stick with the same graphic cards for about 2 years and then upgrade it. So that's, okay, let's narrow it down to make it more even. That's about, a good graphics card is about, a very good one's about £1,000, we won't go that far. Right? Let's say, get a decent graphics card for about £200 maybe. So you have £200 a year, which is already less than what I initially said, which is getting 5 games on Xbox Live. £200 a year, or £200 over 2 years, depending on if you need one or not, to upgrade just the graphics card, which is probably all you need to upgrade in a PC. And then that would already be more significant than, like, it would whether be better off than the Xbox One. And these are the sort of things that are making me think, is it worth it? I mean, apart from the thing about being able to talk to your friends, being able to connect to them in a much easier way, because hardly anyone uses PC that I know, really, or most people are getting onto it, but not enough people that I know use PC for it to be my main choice to get. But in comparison to the Xbox One right now, I'm willing to, like, just move on to PC to, you know, just because it just feels like a better choice. And like, inside me, I feel like I'm going to get an Xbox One regardless, because of the fact that it's an Xbox, and everyone, even people that say they get a PS4 that are on Xbox, are more likely going to get an Xbox, because people tend to stick with their consoles. Now, on that note, I personally, I don't think I'm going to get a PS4, because I was playing the PS1 and I was playing the PS3, and I don't like it. I tried to play it at a friend's house about switching to the Xbox controls, so it was the bumpers to control. I'm so used to Xbox. I mean, I switched from PS2. I had a PS2 for, I think, 4 years, I think, because I've had my Xbox for 3 years. So I've had a PS2 for about 3 or 4 years, and I was used to that controller. And then when I switched to an Xbox, it was a nice, simple switch. But then going from an Xbox controller back to a PS3 controller, it just feels different, because everything's in completely different places. I was comparing it when I was at my friend's house. The D-pad on an Xbox controller is where the left thumbstick is on the PS3 controller. And yeah, and it's swapped. And the buttons are further, it doesn't seem like this big of an adjustment, but the buttons are like slightly higher up and slightly smaller and all that. It's complications and things, and the controller generally is bigger. But I can see where PS4 players can come from and want to stick with their console, because the adjustment from switching controllers, I think, would be... No, I've got this wrong around. I think the adjustment from switching to an Xbox controller to a PS4 controller would be easier than switching from a PS4 controller or PS3 controller to an Xbox controller. So that is why I can see people going from Xbox to PS4. But because of the whole connectivity issue, seeing as, not issues, but the whole being with friends thing, seeing as more people have said they would move on to an Xbox, not that they would do it, they've said that. This was before anything was released. They said, oh, I'm going to get the new Xbox. And it's, now that they've seen it being released, I think people will have to wait until E3 to see what else Xbox has to offer and what else PlayStation has to offer. Because one thing that I think really wasn't a good marketing plan on Xbox half is using the new Call of Duty to showcase their graphics. I mean, there was so many better games they could have used. But they could have used Forza, for example, because that was announced there. They could have even used NBA Live. I mean, that looked like... Oh, that was bad. It looked terrible, but they could have used something like that. Forza on a game, if they demonstrated 15 minutes of Forza with the graphics, like everything on max or whatever they do, that would have been so much more better than Call of Duty, because I think they showed campaign as well, and hardly... Well, I played the campaign, but... I'm basing this on people that I know. Hardly anyone plays the campaign. They'll maybe do the first mission, grind out multiplayer. When they get mad, go to campaign, get bored of that, go back on multiplayer, and it's just a cycle. And then you very rarely get people that I know. Again, everything here that I'm saying, all the hypotheticals I'm saying, I'm basing this on people I know. So, it really depends on, obviously, the person. Depends on what console you started on, because you notice how I'm not mentioning the Wii U or anything. That's Nintendo will always be Nintendo. You could go to a different country for 5 years, not have any video games, and come back and still be perfectly fine on a Nintendo. But on the Xbox and PS4, it's down to personal preference. It's down to what you already own. It'd be a lot easier for people that own both to get either one because they're already used to it. And I think it also depends on what PS4 or what Sony decide to show at E3. Because I think people have already switched onto PS4 without seeing what they have to offer, just because of Xbox One showing COD as their quotation mark highlight game with the graphics engine. And I think that was the worst thing they could have done, and they're already seeing the results of it. Because as soon as Xbox One was announced, like the whole image of it and everything about it, I saw this picture, the stock for PS4 for Sony, like PS4 sales, went up. I think it was 2.04%, and the stock for Xbox One pre-order sales thing went down 0.84%. So these are the sort of things that affect it, and I think PS4 will only go up, and Xbox might catch up, but at the moment, if I'm completely honest, even though I'm an Xbox guy, I would still say that PS4 would have the advantage, just because it's upgrading what it already has, which is what people liked, and Xbox is trying to catch up to what PS4 already has. And then the people that have an Xbox already they maybe not want the adjustment, because the box is a DVR, it's a DVD recorder, and they've kind of made it. It's basically a skybox with a disc hole in it. That's the best analogy I can think of. It's a skybox with a No, wrong word. Didn't happen. Skybox with a disc slot in it, and it's and that's basically the image they're going with. So yeah, me personally, I'm gonna get not gaming PC, I'm gonna get a good PC so I can do everything. You guys, tell me what you would prefer, or if you're gonna wait till E3, if you even care about this stuff, you're just gonna buy one anyway. If you're gonna wait till E3 or wait till more reviews have come out to decide which one you're gonna get. So yeah, this has been a commentary about the gameplay. Enjoy the gameplay, whatever gameplay I decide to put on. Yeah, it's been the Beast from the Southeast. Bye bye. I should get an outro that links to all my videos and stuff, shouldn't I? I'll make that. Anyway, peace!